right, everybody, welcome back to Stinker, Drinker, Thinker. We're three guys. We pour some pours, we make some cocktails, and we rank them in this, in our own special way. It's a new ranking system we developed that is absolutely established. It is huge. It is humongous. It is taking over the fucking world. If you go to Times Square in New York, there's a fucking sign that says, hey, why are you ranking whiskey with numbers? You shouldn't. Just tell me if it's a stinker or a drinker or a thinker. And that's what we're going to do tonight for you and what we do every week.
The sign actually talks to you.
It does. It says, hey, you, fuck you. Yeah. Is it a stinker, a drinker, or a thinker?
I just want a motion sensor sign that says, hey, fuck you.
Yeah. I am...
Anthony's voice for sure.
Yeah, seriously, it has to be mine. Speaking of Anthony, I am your host and star, Anthony Longano.
Jesus.
I am joined here by... two peasants. Troy, the body of Viglotti. Troy, say hello.
I'm just a subordinate. Hi, I'm Troy. Hello.
And then also a beautiful man who's what? You wore that same shirt last week.
What?
The
I wore
fish
Thistle.
shirt. It's the fish shirt.
Fish shirt.
No, that was pink. This is orange.
Fish.
Matt, say hello. This is Matt McKibble.
I'm just a poor boy.
Matt, say hello.
Hello.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. However you're joining us, we appreciate it. If you're not subscribed on however you're joining us, please press that button. If there's a little thumbs up there, please press that. Please press that.
Please press it.
Make sure you subscribe, like, 5-star reviews are awesome. We appreciate everything you're doing. And if you're not following along on Instagram or Facebook, please do. We have some awesome giveaways going on and a shop promotion that we're doing for orders over $30. You'll get a nice little free bottle of whiskey with it. Last week, we dived into some old stuff. One of the best whiskeys we ever had on this podcast, the Heaven Hill 17-year 2022 release, which was fucking fantastic whiskey.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. And then we did the Orphan Barrel, Fable, and Folly, which was also
pretty good.
Pretty darn good, yeah. Tonight, we are going to do a new series called Battle of the Blinds, round 1.
Is that what we're doing?
It's Battle of the Blinds.
But it's not competitive, though.
It is.
Oh.
Everything's competitive.
Who's competing?
Us three.
Anthony's competing against both
each
of
other?
us.
Yes.
No.
Battle of the Blinds, round 1.
This is called Learning.
You know me in competition.
With Troy.
Can't get enough.
Troy's really competitive.
You guys do what you're going to do. I'm going to try to beat you all. This is Battle of the Blinds.
I like that. All right.
Battle of the Blinds, round 1.
Fight. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Essentially, on here, when we do episodes like this, we'll do them every now and then. One of us is going to pour 3 blind pours for the other co-hosts, and tonight's Matt's turn since it was Matt's idea. He had to go first.
Right. I thought of this as an idea of, hey, we've done a few blinds in the past, and I feel like I'm really bad at them. How do I get better? Practice. Not talking about playoffs. And so I said, hey, I think we should do this and alternate and kind of just take it as a learning moment or a really strict competition in Anthony's eyes. And just see if we can hone our skills to be a little bit better because we all kind of suck at this.
I appreciate your sales pitch. Matt just wanted to go first, so he was like, oh, this is a learning opportunity. But Matt knows what he's pouring, so he's not going to learn a fucking thing.
Well, actually, I've never opened 2 of these 3 bottles.
So you did bring one that you opened already, huh? What is it?
Oh, okay. So it's...
That was a knee slapper.
Yeah.
Hey!
Before we dive in, you all know Troy the Body of Viglotti is a world-renowned master, overly advanced sommelier.
I like overly advanced. I just tried too hard.
But actually, by law, he is a sommelier.
I did just reorder my pins.
Ooh. Can you start wearing those?
Huh?
Can you start wearing them on the podcast?
No.
Do they fit through your Prince Albert? Do they? Where do you put the pins?
It's just grape.
Is it like a twist on?
It's a little grape at the end.
Is it a twist on? Or what? Do you put it through the dickle?
I don't even know why I reordered it. I was like, you know what? I don't know where mine is. It's probably somewhere in my parents' house. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows when the moment is going to present itself in which I need to... My words won't be enough proof that
Need the pin.
I actually am a Somm.
You have to drop your
overly
pants.
advanced
You have to drop your pants
sommelier.
back. See? I'm a
Yeah,
Somm.
yeah.
Serious question, though.
Even though you guys would sell it better than I could, but...
Well, as a sommelier,
If you're not with me, what am I going to do?
Hey, well, I swear, man. What's up?
I feel like you have the most blind tasting experience here, obviously, because you trained that way.
Yeah.
So going into something like this, whether it's compared to whiskey or just blind tasting in general, what are some rules of thumb that you have going into this?
Well, honestly, most of it doesn't apply to whiskey, unfortunately, which makes me at just as much of a disadvantage as either one of you.
One of us.
Yeah.
One of us.
Why? Elaborate, please.
Well, I'll tell you the first thing is the first aspect of wine blind tasting is actually based on sight.
Oh.
And if you guys haven't noticed, we're going to use pitched out Glencairns,
Yeah.
the black,
Yeah.
so we cannot see color.
Yeah, which is good for this. No preconceptions and all that. But for wine, I'm able to discern, aside from, red or white, I'm able to discern like some of the alcohol level or youth or maturity of a wine. There's actually kind of quite a bit that you can pick up on.
The legs and the okay.
Which is kind of derivative of alcohol. And that can kind of get you heading in the right direction or wrong direction if you don't pick up on where you're supposed to be. So with whiskey, I'm keeping an open mind, and the only thing that I can say that I'm taking with me that will benefit me in ways that, not that you guys won't understand, but it's something that I've kind of conditioned myself to do, is the what's called the deductive sort of tasting format, which is, what the fuck are you laughing at?
I'm just thinking about your sommelier pin in your dick.
Jesus
Still?
Christ.
I have an actual question about that, though. Do you need to prove you're a somm to get a pin? Actual question.
Do I need to prove?
Like, when you order the pin, they're like, well, you have to prove, you have to have a number or something?
Well, no, I logged into my Court of Master Sommeliers account for the first time in years yesterday. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did you order it through there?
Yeah, I ordered it directly.
I was just,
through
okay,
them.
that's what I was
Yeah,
curious about.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Sorry.
And I wasn't even going to. They prompted me, and I was like,
They
"Do you
knew.
want to reorder your pin?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know where mine is."
Well, they're
so.
used to people not logging on there and then logging back on for the first time in
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, this
forgot.
guy's
You
back
lost your
to it.
fucking
Right,
pins.
right.
Here you go, asshole. Reorder your pin.
Yeah.
So you can put it right through your dick.
Yeah. What kind of gauge do you have to have for that?
Oh, my God. All right.
All right. Sorry.
So basically, trying to figure out what the contents in your glass are not first, ruling everything out, ruling as much out as you possibly can before you make a rash decision.
100% confidence on the glass, or like you're pretty sure? Like this is definitely not blank grain, or
Well,
like,
no,
most
I mean,
likely not.
most likely not.
Okay.
You're never 100% sure, and that's the thing. Don't ever be too sure. Don't ever be like, oh, 3 seconds in, 3 sniffs in, I mean, this is clearly a rye. Undoubtedly.
We've never done that, Troy.
Yeah.
Are you calling us out?
Oh,
Yeah.
I absolutely. Guys, we speak in absolutes on here 100% of the time.
And 100% is rye.
100% of the time it's rye. No, 80% of the time we're wrong all the time. And you're going to see that first fucking hand when we do blind tasting tonight.
That's why I love it.
I'm going to call everything a rye before it's even in the cup.
That looks like a rye. Oh, you can't see it. It's a
rye.
It's a fucking rye.
And it's hard. It's really hard when you are so fucking confident in your gut instincts, and you're just like, dude, how? There's no fucking way. And we're all guilty of it.
Sure.
Trained professionals or not.
And it's painful to like learn what it is after the fact, and then be like, my initial reaction or gut reaction was right, but I didn't listen to it.
Yeah,
That's a hard skill to get.
That's what happens more often than not.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, Matt, I think Troy and I are going to leave the room.
Okay.
And we'll have you pour these for us.
Okay.
And then just give us a little knock on the door when
You know
you're
what
done.
I should do, and I'm probably not going to be able to do this in editing because I don't know how to do this, but do the speed.
Oh, you can do it. You can definitely do it. Oh, my God. You can so easily do it.
And just be like,
All right. Whiskey
All right.
break.
whiskey break, pouring break.
Welcome back from Cracker Break. Well,
Pouring break.
pouring break. This pouring break was brought to you by Units of Measurement. In America, we use the imperial measurement system.
Oh.
In the rest of the world, because America, they use the metric system. Matt needs to learn how to measure because I just came in here and I lifted all 3 of these glasses and there's a gallon of whiskey in my 3rd cup.
You know what? I did that for you because I knew how much you were going to like it.
All I got to do is walk upstairs. You guys got to drive though, so be careful.
What?
Oh, Troy walks across. Troy's my next door
Troy's
neighbor.
going to drive? Wait a second.
Yeah.
What are you driving, dude?
Troy,
What?
at this point, Troy's going to skip across the street.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's
he was,
a roll.
He was just upstairs doing twirls for Brooklyn, my daughter.
Aw.
He was doing spin around. She's so excited to see him without his cane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Troy.
I'm not the ballerina she is, or the dancer. I should say.
She is a professional dancer.
Yeah.
Tried to get her golf lessons last week. She really likes golfing. Took one golf lesson. Within 4 minutes, she looked at Mal, and Mal sent me a text message. Yeah, this is the last time this is going to happen. She did the whole lesson, but she fucking hated golf lessons. She just she wants to go out there and smack the ball. She actually hits the ball really good. Got good form, like naturally. Like
That's pretty impressive.
she's like she is like a natural athlete. Athlete.
Athlete.
Yeah. But she fucking smacks the ball, dude. Like
awesome.
Anyway.
Make a proud pop over there.
Yeah. I'm happy to have.
So what
her
I'd
right
like to know, and I think this would be cool training, and tell me if you don't want to do this or not, but I think it'd be cool if we figure out category, if we guessed on proof, maybe if you want to guess the general price range.
What do you mean by category?
Bourbon, whiskey, American whiskey,
Yeah.
whatever. And then obviously our rating, just to kind of get a ballpark of where we're going here.
So
Just
why don't
to
we
see.
do category, proof,
Price, rating.
price, rate? Yeah. Okay. Yep.
It doesn't, like I said, it's just more of a casual learning experience. Except for Anthony, we have to win, because he's gonna win. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious what you guys think. I've only opened one of these, so I have no idea what they taste like. Obviously, I know what they are. I'm not gonna answer any questions except if Anthony asks them and threatens me, because I'll definitely have to tell him. And yeah, he's going through and smelling them all. That's a strategy. I like it.
Of course, the heaviest one there has to be something that.
I don't know. Cup number 1.
Speaking of cups, I got cup today. At
Oh
a
yeah,
massage.
you're showing me your back.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cupping is cool. I think you need to learn about scraping.
What is the art of scraping?
It's taking a dull metal utensil and scraping your muscles and bones and things.
It sounds
It's amazing.
it sounds so appetizing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, gets everything flowing. Almost get like a green apple almost. What do you get, Anthony?
Yeah, I was thinking some sort of like bright green, crisp fruit type of thing. Good amount of barrel. It's definitely more crispy and poppy than like. I kind of want to say that it's either hot or young, or both. But I don't know. There's a good amount of ethanol there. I'm not sure if that's a proof thing, or if it's a younger whiskey that maybe it was finished. I'm starting to get some darker like cherry notes too. The apple's there, but like there's just like this kind of like sweet like candied cherry type of thing at the bottom of the glass. Lots of char, lots of barrel. But now they're stone. It's constantly evolving. I think it really is helping that I can't see what color it is.
Yeah, oh definitely.
Troy?
On the nose, I think it's actually not particularly overly high proof.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
We're going.
It smells fresh. It smells not rich or opulent or overly sweet. There is, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of like an oatmeal characteristic to it. You know, if there's fruit, I don't. Maybe maybe a little bit orange peel, but honestly, I don't think it's very expressive in terms of fruit.
It was interesting, and this is hard to do when you know what it is. But
Yeah.
because I've only ever tried this once, and I was pretty confident I knew what it smelled like, and I smelled this. I'm like, that's not what I remember. Like, it smells like something different to me, and I had to look up and like, oh, that's. I actually was correct in thinking what I thought, and I'm pretty proud about myself. You'll never know until later. But
Can we make a rule of thumb?
Yes.
You have to go last on everything here. You're not allowed to comment until me and him comment.
That's totally fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Troy, let me know when you get it in.
I'm about to.
Okay. It is. I would say that I think it's low proof.
Yeah.
I think the dominant grain is wheat. It kind of has like a caramel candied apple type of thing to it. Super sweet.
Candy apple. I like that.
Yeah. Super sweet. The finish is not long. The wheat. I really truly believe. I'm probably wrong. I know I'm wrong, but I really feel like it's a wheater.
Tell me why.
Why I think it's a wheater?
Yeah.
I mean, just from everything that we've tasted on here, especially when we did the grains episode, there is that wheat characteristic.
Yeah, but what is that? Because like
it's
even at
sweet,
the end of that
it's
episode,
sweet,
I
and
still
then
wasn't able to.
Yeah, it's sweet, and then it's got like this weird like kind of tang on the fin, and tang not like sour, but it's got like this like weird kind of like kind of like a savory. It's super sweet, but it's got like this savory spice finish at the end.
Yeah,
it kind of just like this weird little aftertaste type of thing to it. And that's in my mind that triggers wheat. I don't know if it's 100% wheat. I'd imagine not. If anything, I would call it a wheated bourbon. I would say it's probably 4 to 6 years. 93 proof. Probably a $30 to $40 bottle. And I'm probably going to call it a stinker.
Really?
Whoa.
Wow.
It's just not good enough. It
I think
tastes
it's
fine.
delicious.
I'll call it a stinker drinker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What you got, Troy?
I'm not ready for a final conclusion.
Okay.
at
Okay.
all. Yeah.
It was not
Take your time.
Mr. Mustard with the lead pipe in the laboratory. Yes, I said laboratory. It's a bathroom that's also a library.
Troy just sat here for like 15 minutes and talked about how I shouldn't rush to conclusions, but I am pretty positive about what I'm tasting, and I'm gonna get "I Speak in Absolutes" tattooed on my fucking forehead one day. You should get it along your cock, and it'll lead right up to Prince Albert.
I speak.
will.
Yeah.
I speak in
Can't wait.
absolutes.
You got
and
enough room on there?
I speak in. I speak
I'll make
in,
it work.
when I speak in absolutes, and it's fucking fantastic. There you go.
That's great,
Yeah.
actually.
I'll call it a drinker stinker.
It's delicious. Yeah.
It's too candied for me.
I don't know, what does that mean?
I feel like it's missing age. I'm not sure necessarily what it is. I'm gonna hold my gun on the wheat thing. I'm gonna stick to my guns on the wheat thing.
Okay.
It's not minty enough to be a rye, in my opinion, but I definitely think that is at least the dominant secondary grain. It is super sweet.
I'm going to call it a rye.
Okay.
Yeah. I do think there's a good amount of herbal quality to it. Whether or not it's mint, I mean, there is something a little bit, I don't know. As I breathe in and breathe out, I feel like there's something, at least if it's not there, it's maybe tricking me into thinking it's menthol-y. But either way, that's what I'm just going to say.
It probably is a rye, but
Excuse me.
No, I'm just saying it probably is a rye, but It's a weeder.
I would say, I mean, proof might not be far off from what you said. You said 93. I mean, I don't know. I'd say the same. I'd say just about low 90s is where I would end up. Youthful, yeah, 4 to 6 years.
I think that's what I said.
Is it?
Yeah. I think
You said around 4. I think is what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could. I mean, honestly, it could be younger. It could be. It could be 4.
Especially if it's a rye, too.
Yeah, it could be 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be 2 to 4. 2 to 6.
2 to 6, 2 to 4, 2 to 8.
And then what's the other thing?
Price point?
Yeah, what do you guess? Like, what would you pay for this?
I would say 40 to 50.
Okay. And your rating?
Probably 40s. I'm gonna have to go with the drinker. Yeah.
Okay, straight drinker.
Yeah.
What I didn't know, and it wasn't actually this is meant to not be tricky at all. What I didn't know is how when I thought it was just American whiskey, and I took a sip of it, I was like, why does it taste herbaceous? Like, why does it have that herbal quality to it? And I looked it up, and I did not know this legitimately that it's a burr rye,
A what?
a bourbon rye blend. It's a burr rye.
Okay.
So it's 60% rye, 40% bourbon. It's about 3 years old is the youngest, so it's a 4 to 12-year-old blend of 4 to 12-year-old bourbon and a 3 to 5-year-old rye blended together. Very interesting. I actually did not know that. Pretty cool. It is $35,
I got that one at least. I did get that one.
so it's very cheap for what we seem to like, and it's 90 proof. And the bottle...
That's the
is
okay.
Redwood Empire Lost Monarch.
Beautiful. I have a bottle of.
Never seen it or heard of it.
It's really kind of.
Sonoma County.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a California company. They, I think it's MGP. I don't actually know, but it is undisclosed. It's this bottle.
Does it say Indiana at least, or
this is sourced, but they do have product of California, bottled by Empire. They don't list who distilled it. But I believe it's MGP or something similar to that. But they're now coming out with their own distillate, and which is like that Rocket Top and the Grizzly Bear. That's their first stuff. Their bottled and bond stuff.
I have one of them over there. I forgot which one I
The
got.
Pipe Dream.
I have the Pipe Dream. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I legitimately thought this is just a blended whiskey, like a bourbon blend or something like that. But I did not know it was a burr rye. And I like it. I was like, this is weird. Did I pick the wrong bottle? Like, this is a rye. What the fuck? But I like it more than I thought I would. And for $35,
That's a good price on this, man. I really think for that price point, that's a value buy. The one thing I will say now that I've sat here and sipped it, the finish on it is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a nice like spicy kind of finish to it.
it's a cool blend of like it has the caramels and you got all the notes. I mean, you got them all. Just had to smash them together. But it has the caramels and the dark sugar and stuff from the bourbon.
So no fucking wheat in it at all. Probably in the bourbon.
No, not really. I mean, it is 95% rye, 5 malted barley for the rye, and then the bourbon is 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. So
no wheat at all.
At all. Any of it. Yeah, but I legitimately think when you're saying wheat, I was like, I know what you're trying to get at. It's that spiciness. I think you just weren't ready to call it a rye.
Well, because I always call everything a rye. So I was like, Matt's not going to pour a rye first.
Legitimately
like,
not intention. This is not intentional. Like mess you up or like try to play tricks.
But something with wheat too. I always get like this fucking weird candy coating thing with like this weird aftertaste, and I got that immediately. And then as soon as Troy started talking about
rye,
I literally breathed out.
Whatever the fuck you started talking about.
I breathed out, and it's like, okay, I just spit out spearmint
That's
gum.
why I was so confused, because I was like, this isn't a rye. What the fuck is in this? I was like, oh, it is fucking rye. So.
Well, that is very good. I would like to cleanse my palate before we moved on, but I also want to hear what you're going to rank it.
Oh, you're right. I'm going drinker on this. I think this is the only one of the 3 that I've tried that I knew that I liked, especially for the price. I thought everyone always says how good of a value it is. I'll pass the ball down. But I'm going straight drinker.
I'm gonna have to try. I'm gonna have to open up that other one.
Yeah.
Well, Redwood Empire from Sonoma, California, you have made it to the table of judgment and passed and now you work your way into the Infinite Drinker decanter.
I'll do them all at the end as a tradition.
Yes.
As tradition. Yes.
All right. Cool. Number one, you want to do a quick little cleansing
Yeah,
break? Since we're doing
I'm
blind,
gonna
we got
have
it.
to.
We got to do
Yeah.
breaks. So
Okay.
all right,
Cracker break.
blind cracker break. Oh, welcome back from cracker break. Got him. All right, this cracker break brought to you by God Dang Joke. A bear walks into a bar and says to the bartender, "I'll have a whiskey and soda." The bartender says, "Why the big pause?" "Don't know," says the bear. "I've always had them."
Nope.
Damn it. I was going to get... All right. I like this. I can always try out my new stand-up routine coming to you at all Comedy Central locations near
Definitely
you.
a fan of the pun.
Yeah, I think
right.
I like the puns better. Next
right, I'll
cracker
stick
break,
to
we'll do the
puns.
puns.
All right.
Yeah.
Puns with buns.
Those are getting worse, man.
Well, you know, I had my... I let out with
did
the
you
best one.
Did you read that one before? On last episode, you didn't even fucking read that joke.
I read the other one. It just wasn't very good, but I said I'm committed at this point. I put it on my spreadsheet. I have to read it. So whether they're good or bad, you're getting them all.
Sounded like Bubbles are. Welcome back from cracker break. Fuck you, Randy.
That's the funniest part.
Yeah.
If you have any jokes, submit them at contact@singerdrinkerthinker.com.
Please don't. I will delete
If you want me
your
to read
shit.
them on the air, I will read your joke. And if you win, if you successfully make both of them laugh, I'll send you some whiskey or
right.
merch.
That's
How
worth
about
it.
How about that, Anthony? New contest I created. You send me a joke. If it's funny, I read it on air, and it makes both of you laugh, actually laugh, then they win something. Cool?
Out of your collection.
Yeah. Well, some
Because everything's been coming out of mine.
wow, except for
Well,
anyway, we won't go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the second pour.
Whiskey's meant for sharing, like we said.
Troy is going to buy you a bottle of whatever you want.
Hey,
All
Matt.
right.
Matt,
Yeah.
I think do you guys want a bottle of Eagle Rare? Matt's got like 20. They're all store picks, though. He won't give any of them away.
Yeah, I could do that.
Alrighty.
Oh, now you can do it.
Well, if the viewers want it, you got to give them what they want. You know what I mean? If you ask for it, I can't do it. But, you know, my inbox is blowing up. All right.
Contact at stinkerdrinkerthinker.com. Submit your requests for Eagle Rare store picks, and Matt will give you all of them.
Only if you tell me a really good joke. All right. Let's get into it.
This one's kind of... interesting. It's a little... it's definitely hotter than the last one.
Yep.
You get like an earthy thing, Troy? Kind of getting like some like dirt and fresh cut grass type of thing. There's some barrel at the bottom of there. Maybe a little bit more age on it. A little bit of like a sweet presence going on. But it's definitely significantly, I would say at least 10 to 15 points hotter. Yeah, it's like burning my nose hairs, which is a good thing. I'm not being a pussy, but like it's jumping from something that was 90 proof to this. You can tell it's.
I get some fruit. Really bright though, like bright citrus. Stone fruit maybe.
What kind of citrus are you talking here?
Candied lemon peel.
I get some
Meyer
fruit.
lemon.
I get some fruit. Troy, what kind of candy lemon peel?
Specifically.
Do you get like that kind of dirt thing that I'm talking about?
A little bit maybe. It's a little. It's
Like some sawdust there too.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little shut off on the nose, and maybe that's just me trying to work through the vapors here.
Maybe. Is the only thing will say is I've never opened this bottle, so it's a fresh crack.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay. Grass. Hey.
Hey.
sawdust, like a
I try.
barn, like a barn on a lemon farm.
Barn on a candied lemon farm.
Barkeep, where's your
Hey,
lemon
barkeep.
farm?
Where's the
Hey,
barn on the
I got to
lemon farm?
deliver for the lemon farm. Got some candy
Bah.
for it.
Ah,
Bah, humbug.
Yeah, it's starting to slowly open up. Yeah. I'm on a hike.
And a long hike at like 70-degree
Yeah.
cliffside.
Yeah, a little bit of mildew. It's very subdued. The sweetness is, if it's there, I'm going to find it on the palate. So I'm going to try and
Try to find it.
go there right now.
Take me to church. Try.
It's definitely hot, but it's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting a lot of, maybe on the finish getting a little bit of oak. Not as much as I did on the nose.
No, it tastes young. Youngish.
Young and kind of barrel proof almost.
Yeah.
Which could vary depending on.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go first on this one.
I get some creamed corn.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
You know, the fruit, if anything, is still bright. It's not rich. It's not dark. It's a pretty aromatically bright, sort of zesty whiskey.
I can't say anything, but I almost get like a dry, like a dehydrated blood orange a little bit.
Yeah. I'd say it's hitting me around like the 115 mark. That's just my first guess in terms of proof. I think it's corn forward, so I think it's a bourbon. I do think it's fairly youthful. I'm going to say, again, 4 to 6 years. It's got a really nice sort of popcorny finish, just like a little, like, toasted, like a toasted hazelnut, or even, I don't know. It's not very sweet. It's just very corny.
I think the finish is lasting a long time.
Kind of like Matt's
too.
fucking joke.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think the finish is still hitting my mouth. Like it's still kind of evolving on my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is. Price point, did you say that?
No, I do think could be worth a pretty penny. I don't know. Let's say 70, 75 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And category said
I do believe it's a bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah. If not a bourbon, I mean, no, I mean, I think it's predominantly corn.
okay. And what's your ranking? If you're ready to throw the hammer down.
I'm not.
Okay.
Let Anthony go, and then
Okay.
I'll give a ranking after that.
All right.
I think right around the 113 to 115 mark.
Okay.
Is where it's sitting.
Might be older.
What?
Might be older. I don't know.
I'm talking about proof.
I know.
No, he's just talking to himself.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden, I just took a taste.
I think maybe it's I was gonna say maybe around like a 6 year, but I'm not getting a ton of barrel, so I was kind of rules out a couple things for me. As far as like what I think it could be, and usually the things that I would think this would kind of be in line with are in the 9 to 12 year range, and I'm not getting a lot of that age on it. It's really kind of hard to say. I mean, there is a ton of sweetness going on, and there's not a lot of that oak leather type of thing that you would get with a bourbon, especially like a hot one or a barrel proof one. I would say it's probably a $70 to $90 bottle, and I don't think it's worth that much.
So what would you price it at?
I mean, I would pay $70 for it, but I don't.
Okay.
I would have a hard time
What would you be comfortable
if I
paying?
finished buying this bottle and it was $90, or if I bought this bottle, it was $90 and I finished it. First of all, it would take me years to finish it. Second of all, I wouldn't buy it again.
I'm just curious, at what price point would you feel comfortable with? Like, what do you think this should live at?
Well, just because I know it's hotter, like I know for a fact that those are going to live in that $60 to $80 price range.
Okay.
If it's a more readily available thing, and if it's not, if it's one of these like newer off brands, like I'm not calling Redwood an off brand, but
Well, I mean, I know
like
what you mean.
you know what I mean. But you would think that a barrel proof offering from someone like this would be
The craft tax.
yeah, over north of $80 bucks, right? So as a collector, if it's a distiller that I pride myself on having on the shelf type of thing, yeah, maybe I'd pay for it. But after tasting it, and definitely tasting it blind, I probably wouldn't pay any more than $70 for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's a bourbon, but if it is a bourbon, it's high rye in the mash bill. I'm going to call it a. I just don't know if I like it.
It's fair.
I'll tell you, the nose was very interesting. Once I got it in there, it's a one-trick pony, though. It tastes the same every time I sip it. Mm-hmm. That kind of gets the thinker category off of there. And the fact that I'm even contemplating, the first thing I think of is, all right, would I buy this again? And I'm saying no. Kind of just want to call it a stinker drinker.
Okay.
It's good. You can drink it. It's drinkable. I'd poured it a couple times, but it's kind of stinky.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very hard to categorize. I agree. I'm probably going to call it the same thing. I don't think it's as complex as I want it to be, and I don't think I'm compelled to drink it as much as I wish I would want to. But I don't dislike it.
It's not offensive.
But I would drink it.
Okay.
Meaning it's a stinker drinker. Yeah.
Stinker drinker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a stinker drinker.
And here's a question. I
also, the more I'm spending time with it, the initial front palate was really corn forward. I still think it's a bourbon, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were like a 4-grain something or other. Like,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask, as far as the infinity drinker is concerned, if it's any, do we decide if there's any drinker part of it?
I think we can veto the drinker tag on something to keep it out of that decanter.
What is the rule? If there's any portion drinker is going in, so we decide.
I'll put a what's it called?
Down to vote.
No, filibuster or whatever.
Oh, filibuster.
Yeah.
All right. So,
what's your ranking? You don't give us the rest of the stuff. What's your ranking?
What's funny is it's harder knowing. I'm going drinker, but I absolutely understand what you're saying about stinker. I think I'm going drinker though, because actually it's not offensive to me, and I think, and obviously this is why we do blind. Having a preconceived notion of it definitely impacts you, no matter how you try not to.
It absolutely does. Now, I'm reluctant to say the things I'm saying because if you whip a bottle of something out,
that's why we do this.
That I love, it's going to make me.
And this is like
hate myself.
I specifically didn't pick bottles that I know I'm familiar with. not going to be like, oh, you said you love this bottle. No, none of that. It's just I picked this particular bottle actually recently because it started beating a lot of it's a go-to bottle for a lot of people, and it started beating a lot of similarly priced bottles in the price range. And so I was like, I've never tried it. Everyone talks about how good it is. I'm kind of curious what it is. So, you have anything else to say, Troy?
Excuse me. I think the palate's underwhelming compared to the nose.
I agree.
Totally fair. So this is a bourbon, in fact. It is 116.8 proof, so you both are...
We'll say we're both...
Troy said 115.
Yeah.
No, she's 100. Yeah, both close. It's a blend of 6, 8, and 12-year-old bourbons.
I said 6.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was older than I think you...
Yeah.
The palate led you to believe.
It definitely started to present itself older the more I drank it.
And most likely, it's probably mostly 6 and 8 and a little bit of 12.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way up. It is 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley.
Okay.
$50.
Corn heavy.
$50.
$50. I think the store I paid 60. It is a little higher than average. It's like 50, 55 typically.
Okay.
You have any guesses before? We should have asked this before.
Well, I mean,
knowing all that now, does that change anything as far as your guess?
$50.
I paid 60.
And you said it's one something? And
116.
It's a bourbon.
It is barrel proof. You're right.
Man. No, I don't want to. I don't want to guess.
I'll guess. I'll guess 1792 barrel proof.
Is it
Wild Turkey Rare Breed?
Oh
Rare
my
breed.
God, I love Rare Breed.
Really? I've never tried it. I've never tried it
Oh
before.
man, I like Rare Breed rye a bunch.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had the bourbon.
I've
never had Rare Breed bourbon.
Somebody just shot this out against a bunch. Actually, funny enough, right before I got here, after I had already bought it, there's a shootout against a respectable whiskey tuber. This against the High Rye bourbon, Butterfly.
Yeah,
Blue Run.
Yeah.
And they're actually pretty close, but this one, the viscosity one, and he liked a little bit over the overall flavors. But I was like, I've never tried it. I'm legitimately curious if I like it or not.
Me and Troy slugged a bottle of Rare Breed rye in
yeah.
about 2 days one time. We're not alcoholics, guys. We just went through
Just
a
play
rough
one on
time
TV.
when we were locked at home.
So yeah,
I just play one on TV.
gonna hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, so Wild Turkey Rare Breed, pretty readily available depending on where you're at.
Absolutely readily available everywhere. I walked into
And
store
a $50 bottle for something barrel proof.
I bought it yesterday.
from a respected distillery.
Yep.
Like that's kind of cool.
Yep.
I've never not liked anything I've had from Wild Turkey. This is probably the most underwhelming pour I've had from Wild Turkey.
It is really funny because that is always the dark horse best pour whenever people like tried out some other Wild Turkey stuff, and that's why I was kind of curious if it holds up.
Yeah, I have a bottle of Kentucky Spirit up on that shelf, a single barrel that is fucking fantastic. The Rare Breed rye is fucking fantastic. I'm happy we got to try this, Matt. Thank you for bringing this.
I literally bought it yesterday because I was so curious about it. So
Well, we should talk about this at the table of judgment, because all three of us gave it a drinker rating.
some degree of drink.
There's some degree. I mean, me and Troy put stinker in front of the drinker. Now I'm going to put the option on the table for us to veto this from the Infinite Drinker, but because it's got Mr. Russell's name on it, should we do him the dignity?
It shouldn't. I would say it shouldn't change anything if you know what bottle it is.
Wild Turkey should end
You're
up
right.
in that decanter
But
at some point. So
I
we're not.
do-
The decanter is not missing out from Turkey if we don't put this in here tonight.
I do legitimately think if it has any, if you are so inclined to say it is any part drinker, it should go in the Infinite Drinker, because the Infinite Drinker encompasses all types of drinkers: drinkers, thinker drinkers, stinker drinkers. It's a
Coupled
drinker
with
of
the
all.
fact that
I
we
think-
want to put it in there.
So first of all, I want to put this in there because it's Wild Turkey. Second of all, I think at any time if there's two stinker drinkers on the table,
Okay.
we have to vote.
Okay. If a majority rules stink,
Too many rules.
Stinker drinker. No, we have to make rules. That is the ultimate drinker decanter.
my rule is if there's drinker at all in it, it is eligible for the bottle.
My rule is if it's a drinker thinker and it's got multiple, or I'm sorry, a drinker stinker and it's got multiple stinkers
Okay.
on the table.
How about we talk?
We
about
have
it?
to vote.
We
We
should
have to talk about it.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking.
Okay,
We have
great.
to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Hey,
this
let's
is
talk
going.
about
This
it.
is going in the fucking decanter because it's Wild Turkey.
Don't forget about it.
Don't fucking forget about it.
Talk about it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I thank you for bearing with me. I am legitimately curious about that. So.
I dig it. If you guys see Rare Breed,
Besides it being stinky, in blind.
Honestly, it's a good $50 buy, especially if you want something barrel proof and you don't want to spend $80.
That's what you're saying, like $70, $90 was like, what if it was 50?
Well, you just know what barrel proof releases are, and that's Wild Turkey. They're one of the biggest legacy brands on the fucking face of the earth. They can do a barrel proof at $50.
Yep. And this is why we do
stop overcharging for fucking 10-year-old 101 when you put your fucking sorry, off my soapbox. Cracker break.
Cracker break.
Quack a boy.
Cracker break. Quacker break. This operatic cracker break brought to you by puns. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, Matt.
Did you hear about the golfer? He brought an extra pair of pants in case he got a hole in one.
That wasn't funny. It's the liquor. It's the liquor. It's not you. Trust me.
Puns are better than jokes. I think I've decided.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
All right.
Unless you find like a drinker joke, like a drinker level, all day drinker level joke, don't bring it on this podcast anymore. Read them before.
They're not welcome.
I have to have the stinkers to know what is a drinker. I know your sense of humor. I'm honing in.
Matt, this is like episode 40.
I don't know who
You've had at least 39 fucking stinkers.
I haven't been telling jokes on this podcast until like recently.
You are a joke.
Bam.
What is it?
No, you got it right the first time, Anthony. I'm so proud of you.
Sometimes I press other buttons on purpose. You know?
Yeah, Crickets.
All right, well,
Crickets.
Now to the 17-ounce glass.
All right. What do we got?
Any fucking day now, Troy. You gonna pick it up or what?
I already did.
Oh, did you drink it?
It's gone. I'm just kidding.
Huh. I'm not gonna say anything, but huh.
Exactly.
Get a lot of like maple syrup and it's barley forward. I kind of want to say it's a little bit hot, but I don't think it's like extraordinary hot. Maybe right around either 98 to 103. Maybe 103 might be a little too hot. But definitely syrupy. Absolutely thick. Definitely smells like there's a lot of malt going on in there.
Getting some peach cobbler.
Peach fucking cobbler.
Oh, wow. We're at that point for you, huh?
What point?
You're going to talk like Boston, Troy?
Well, cobbler was just the perfect word for it, so I couldn't help myself.
Peach cobbler. What the oh.
What the fuck is peach cobbler?
Yeah. It's
a little bit of like
yeah, I think it's quite a handful of peaches.
A handful of peaches. Smelling note, a handful of peaches.
Troy's next blog is going to be called Beyond the Oak because like he sees right past the barrel and goes right to yeah, man.
Yeah, I did.
Peach and cinnamon.
Yep.
Covered in syrup.
A la mode.
Ooh.
A la mode.
A la mode. A la monde. I come from London.
Okay, let's get it in.
But there is the
Excuse me.
No. Just
No.
To prove the point of there being what we interpret as barley forwardness. Like, why do we think that?
Right. Actually, good question.
Yeah. It's really hard to pinpoint, but it's like this really roasted, grainy. I like, you know how you're when you're in a kid and like asked a definition, don't use the word in the definition.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a hard time doing that right now with barley.
Can I say something?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say maybe.
No.
I was actually gonna say yes.
I'll say it later. I'll say it later. I'm going to drink this, though.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of this single malt that I bought a few weeks back. and I was super excited to buy, and I hated it.
What was that?
Pursuit.
Oh, really?
Prosciutto?
Prosciutto?
Yeah, it was not great.
They make a single malt. I know.
Yeah, it's no, not Pursuit like the pot, like Pursuit. Like the
Pursuit
bourbon.
United?
Yeah, Pursuit United.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who? Pursuit who?
Pursuit United, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah. No, this is.
Oh, that's different. Oh, that's totally different. Okay.
Yep.
Never heard of that.
Pursuit United is from the
Right.
Bourbon Pursuit.
That's why I was
podcast.
confused. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I haven't got my hands on that yet, but I'm very much looking forward to trying it. And it's just so sweet. And yeah, man.
What,
it's,
this or that?
Yeah, this. Well, that one also is sweet, but that's why this one's reminding me of that. That one was the Pursuit one was very like almost like watered down. This is definitely a little bit more full bodied. I'm also having a hard time making up my mind of whether or not this is Scotch, and I don't think it is because of, first of all, how much sweetness I'm getting, but like it's got like that bite at the end of like hotter Scotches.
It's that kind of like bitterness,
Yeah.
that funky, musty bitterness.
It's got like that feeling on my tongue of when I drink Scotch. Not peated. I'm not talking about peated or smoke or anything like that, because honestly, I think it's lacking that. I think it's lacking barrel char. I almost think it's lacking age. I'm definitely going to call it a single malt, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was some sort of 4-grain whiskey with a barley forward bill. I think I'm going to say it's in between 103 and 107, closer to 103. I think it's too sweet. The peach cobbler thing is there, but I mean, it's like the little kid at the breakfast table. You give him pancakes and
Just douses it.
okay, this is your first time. Daddy's going to let you use syrup. You can do it. Daddy's not going to do it for you. Okay, Daddy. You know, and it's not like maple syrup here. It's actually more like if you go to IHOP and you get the syrup choices where it's just like fucking, you know,
The boysenberry syrup?
I mean, yeah, it's literally just like fucking manufactured sugar in a bottle. It's high fructose corn syrup with a little bit of like non-natural flavoring. And maybe I'm being a little exaggerating here because it's not terrible whiskey, but yeah, so I'm gonna say it's a single malt. I'm not really getting that chocolate type of thing I like generally with single malts. So I'm kind of wondering if it's one of those things where they can call it a single malt, but there's a secondary grain or two in there. I'm gonna say, I think I said 103 or 104, right? I'm gonna say it's probably a $60 to $70 bottle, knowing what this type of whiskey would go for. I think it's interesting enough to call it a thinker, but I'm not overly impressed.
I just got mad banana bread. Walnut banana bread.
It is evolving. Like, you can pick out a million fucking things in here.
I've just been sitting here smelling it the entire time you've been talking, and every time it's a totally different thing.
I think this would be good to pour after, like, in the fall, like not like a Thanksgiving, but like just like a good day of like football.
Yep.
And eating a bunch of food, and like you're just having a nightcap with your buds, and your team won, and it's like, you know what? Let's pour a fucking glass of this. It's nice and sugary and like good to wind down. It's a nightcap. Yeah, absolutely. But I think I'm just gonna call it a thinker.
Very nice.
Troy.
Thank you.
I believe it is under 100 proof, but not by much. I'm going to say between like 90, 95, and 100. Maybe right at 100. But if it's in the low 100s, I wouldn't be shocked. Upper 90s. Anyway.
But if it was like 101, but like...
Can I ask you a question before you continue?
Yeah.
When's the last time you had an American single malt that's under proof?
No idea. I mean, I don't...
And that was kind of my logic because I was getting like this nice spicy finish.
Well,
So
like,
I went just north of
most
100.
scotches are all less than 100.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not thinking
not
about
any scotch that I have in this room.
No.
I'm not thinking about anything other than my throat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're tasting proof, you're feeling your throat essentially.
100%. Yeah. Not thinking about anything else. Not thinking about what I think that this is.
So when you forget it, when you stick your Prince Albert,
Nope.
Yeah. It's extremely complex. Every sip is different. Thinker first, drinker second, because I want to drink the shit out of it. I think it's extraordinary. Proof is perfect. Balance is perfect. Ton of fruit, ton of spice, ton of sweetness, which I want. I don't think it's cloying. I don't think it's offensive. Upwards of 70, 80 bucks, probably. Less than 100 for sure.
What category?
Single malt. I think it's a single malt. I think it's American. It's too sweet to be Scotch.
I agree.
I've had some sweet scotches, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting so much banana bread now on the nose. It's like I cannot stop. Like I'm just out of the oven.
I can get on that.
I'm honestly, it's so hard. If it weren't,
It's literally changing every 30 seconds.
and if it weren't, I would call it a drinker in a heartbeat because it's really delectable.
Yeah. I'll make a banana bread with walnuts and dark chocolate chips a lot.
Mm.
And this is like exactly
see
the
that.
smell.
Really?
Exactly the smell.
Nice, that's awesome.
My problem with not calling this a drinker is the sweetness level. I feel like if I had like 3 or 4 of these, I would absolutely be hungover.
Interesting.
And like there's and not that there's like a high sugar content, like they add sugar or something to it, but like think about it. If you drink sweet drinks all night, you're gonna wake up with a headache. If you drink bourbon all night and you do it a couple times a week, like you're not gonna be hungover. Like I don't get hungover after we film 2 of these episodes in a row, unless me and Troy stay up on my counter and slam a bottle of Angel's Every Rye until 3 a.m.
Yeah. Another thing about age, which I didn't go into, is I think it's pretty youthful. I'd be surprised if it eclipsed 4 years.
What did I say?
You said young, you didn't give it the age.
Okay.
Age, if you want. Do you want to put an age on it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say 4 to 5 at the oldest.
Okay.
Sorry, Troy.
See, it's interesting because I get sweetness, but I also get a lot of. I kept on thinking cocoa powder, like that. You were saying granular, kind of like. I get a lot of like kind of drying, bitter cocoa powder.
Yeah, I do agree with Anthony though. I'm getting far less chocolate than I would normally expect for an American single malt in terms of that barley forwardness.
The one thing you said, Matt, was banana walnut bread with melted dark chocolate, or like fresh out of the oven, like
Yeah.
with dark chocolate chips in it. I could see that, like random bites getting that melted morsel of chocolate,
Just a little bit.
But there's for what I love single malts for, it's missing that chocolate element for me by a lot.
Yeah.
If anything, I just don't think it's dark. Like
Hershey's
like-
cocoa powder.
that, like it's not that extra fiery. Like it's not stout level
Sure.
malt,
Mm.
which that's kind of what I equate to that American single malt barley forward thing.
Okay. Do you want to know what it is?
I want to know your ranking first.
Oh, I'm going thinker drinker. Hunted.
Hunted.
Hunted. I
really-
thoroughly enjoy it,
I really do want
but
to
it's
know
so
what it
complex. I can't stop drinking it to figure out what the fuck's going on.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
That's why. All right. So it is. We'll go for the stats first. 7 years.
Okay, wow.
American single malt. This particular one is kind of the last of it. There's only 120 bottles ever.
Jesus.
Well, it's small.
Was it like $2 million, Matt?
$2 million. I think it was about $120. 119 proof. It is cast strength.
Fuck me.
Yep.
At least I got you there. But
Yep.
I still said 103 to 105.
Yeah.
Like that's
119. Doesn't drink like that at all.
You had.
I'm wondering why Matt's
you had to
microphone
tell.
is spinning around in a circle right now. Wow.
So this is. I guess I'll just go ahead and show you. This is a American single malt. It's American single malt, and it is Wanderback.
That's the Wanderback, huh?
So this is.
I've been interested in trying this. Thank you.
So this is a Westland distillate aged in.
I've had this.
Oh no,
Aren't they in Oregon?
We brought it. We never tried it. You tried the other one, the
I
red
thought
one.
they were in Oregon.
Yeah.
It's from Westland?
So
Westland distills it and they age it in Orland?
Yeah,
Orland.
so they team up with
Orland.
Orland Park, Chicago. They team up with a lot of distilleries. They get a mash bill that they have it distilled at that place. They bring it to Oregon. They age it there.
That's so sick, man.
So
Westland,
they've done Balcones. You tried the Balcones one. This is the Westland one.
Westland is one of the most underrated American distilleries in this country. They're in Washington. If you guys haven't heard about them, and it's not readily available everywhere. It's finally showing up in Indiana. I've seen it in a bunch of stores closer to Chicago and things like that. But guys, if you see Westland on the shelf, they make a single malt, they make a peated single malt, they make a sherry finished single malt, and then any of their limited releases, probably some of the best fucking whiskey we've ever had.
Yeah.
The Garyana 6 almost won our blind tasting
really
bracket
good.
in March. Westland is an incredible distillery.
So this particular bottle is called the 2022 Founders Reserve HH11 Cask Strength Single Barrel. So this is just
I cannot believe this is fucking cask strength,
I know.
dude.
They bought a bunch of Westland.
I think it's because
Because we've been drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. They bought a bunch of Westland, and this is the last of the distillate. There's only 120 bottles left, and they said, we're going to bottle it at cask strength. And they actually signed the bottle, which is super cool.
Oh, that's super sweet.
The founder signed it. And I pre-ordered it like 4 months ago, and it finally arrived. So
Just get it this week?
I got actually, funny enough.
You obviously tried it because a quarter of the bottle's gone.
No, I actually just poured
heavy
that. I kind of poured.
Oh
a little
well,
heavy.
you did pour like 16. Of course, you poured a 16-ounce pour
I didn't mean
of
to.
the
But
cask strength.
legitimately, I
I'm
looked
gonna
at that.
slug it.
I looked at that bottle after I poured, and I said, "Holy fuck! I put a third of a bottle of cask strength whiskey in our glasses." So sorry, not sorry. But it's a cool expression from a company that I'm learning to really like. They do some cool stuff. And I've got on the Wanderback train a little while ago, and I'm probably going to pick up a lot of stuff going forward.
Yeah,
But
this is.
it's 100% malted barley. And if we didn't catch that, it's a single malt. So,
Okay.
Yep.
What are they finishing it in?
It should say it on there. I think
Are
it's
they
just.
are
I
they
think it's-
aging it in oak or what?
I don't know if that one's finished, although it might be.
7 years.
dude.
I'm so incredibly shocked by how sweet this is, especially for a Westland
It
distillery.
might be finished. Let's see.
I wonder if it's a climate thing.
I was thinking Westland the whole time, and I knew that you wouldn't have brought an actual bottle of Westland, but I wish I would have said it.
You could have said it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should say it on there.
We should know if this is port cast finished. But I mean, I also don't. I think it's too sweet for port.
Really?
Well, it depends on what kind of port cast we're
Yeah.
talking.
Talk to me about port, Troy.
No thanks. No, I mean, like, Ruby, probably sweeter than Tawny.
Oh.
Hey, thanks for your input.
Oh, okay.
What is tawny?
Well, okay. Since you asked, okay. I would imagine, and I don't know. I am kind of curious. I would be surprised if most whiskeys that were port finished weren't aged in tawny port barrels, because the way I understand it is that tawny port's the most accessible out of all the ports. It is a general age statement for a port, which you'll see by the bigger houses like Taylor Fladgate and a couple of others that will be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years. But it's pretty loose. And I even came to find out one time that there's a bit of a tasting panel that just sort of evaluates the wines and says, well, this wine that's kind of a blend of various port vintages that's been combined into an old barrel that's just aging in whatever warehouse tastes like it ought to be about 10 years old, or this one ought to be about 20 years old, but it's pretty
Loosey goosey.
yeah yes
Interesting.
so it's which is why you probably won't see like really massive price tags for most tawny ports unless you get into the 40+ year caliber. But then,
Well,
yeah.
We'll have some late breaking news. It's very exciting.
Okay.
They just announced Waterback. Look at their website. They just announced the Old Dominion collection, which is a collaboration with guess who?
Westland.
Virginia Distilling.
Oh, fuck me. Are you kidding?
Oh,
Nope.
that's cool.
So it's going to be available in 2023 next year.
That's really cool.
So they must know. Like,
Man,
They're just taking the best. They did Balcones.
I love these fucking grassroots American distilleries, man.
Woo.
I absolutely love it.
They kind of
American Single Malt. We're calling it right now on the Stinker Drinker Thinker podcast. American Single Malt is the new bourbon boom. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, they're literally just. I think it's a cool concept. Some people say, and I've criticized other places for not doing this, for not making their own, but they're just getting the best distillers of things they like, Balcones, Virginia, whatever, and they're saying, you guys obviously know what the fuck you're doing. We're just gonna take it and age it because we have a pretty interesting climate here. It looks like they're on like a river in Oregon or whatever.
That's another thing I like about Westland a bunch. They do that cask exchange program. I actually have a bottle. It's a distillery exclusive where they, instead of wasting barrels, they will exchange their barrels with breweries and local distilleries and things like that. So I have a bottle of Westland Single Malt up there that was aged in a local brewery's, I forgot which one, I can look at it, barrels. We should fucking pop that on here, man. I bet it's fucking fantastic. But obviously, Wanderback's pretty sweet, but Westland as a whole, I'm just saying, most underrated distillery in America
that we know of. Cool.
All right.
Thank you for participating. I hope I picked some interesting things that we talked about.
You did.
That was a little interesting because the rare breed I knew was the first bottle I picked because I'm genuinely curious how this is going to hold up in a blind.
Well, Matt, thank you for picking 3 bottles that have came to the table of judgment and made their way into the Infinite Drinker.
That's the goal. Any last remarks
before we put them in their final destinations?
Yeah. Troy?
I'm fine.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
Very welcome.
I've been sitting here the whole time looking at my shelf, wondering what I'm going to pour for you guys when I do this.
Yeah.
I have like 6 fucking things I want to pour.
It's very exciting. I like doing this. It's a cool exercise. I'm excited to be on the other end when I am totally not knowing what the bottles are. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Let's get a pop cork.
Oh, yeah. We get all 3 in a row. This is back to back. But I'm excited to do this on the other end and kind of be wrong about a lot of stuff. So it's high proof.
It doesn't taste high
I
proof.
know. That's the crazy part. I'm wondering, like, how is it that's, like, tasting so smooth and so low proof? But
That was the biggest pour you gave me. It's gone.
Yeah. So any merch updates? Anything new?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I think I mentioned this at the top of the episode. Thank you, Troy. If you go to our website, stinkerdrinkerthinker.com, or if you follow us on social media, we got a promotion going on now through July 4th or until supplies run out. If you spend $30 in our shop, we're going to throw in a free 50 ml bottle of something really cool. So we got some Willet Pot Still Reserve. We got some Willet 3-year Estate Rye. We got a couple different Balcones bottles we're going to do. I think we got Baby Blue. We got a couple of the Ryes and then a single barrel. I'm sorry, a single malt. We got some Clyde Mays. We got some Teeling. Courage and Conviction, which we did an episode on a few months back, which is awesome. Another great single malt. That's Virginia Distilling, which we were just talking about. So go ahead and, we appreciate the support. We got a bunch of stuff on there. We got 3 or 4 different shirts, a golf shirt. Obviously, our signature Glencairn's on there, a drawstring backpack.
Tons of shit.
A ton of shit, and we're going to keep adding to it probably between the time we recorded this episode and when you're hearing this. But do that. We got a bunch of stuff going on social media. If you're not following us there, we're very generous. We're always doing giveaways and things like that.
Because we appreciate all of you.
Yeah. Hope you guys all had a good Father's Day weekend and appreciate all the support. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends like you do with all your whiskey, like Matt just did with all of us. And on that note, cheers to all of you. And Troy.
Nope.
3, 2, 1.
Yodelay!